following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. New York Mets in the zone. I'm Ralph Tyko of the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And one of the Rose brothers is indisposed, but one is here, Bernie Rose.
I am here. Thank you. Nice to be back.
We're missing Mert, but such as it is, we have Bernie, who has been just great, being a Dodger fan and filling the role of a Met broadcaster. You've been great. You have objectivity, and it's terrific having you week after week, Bernie. Robert Cole is here as well. So I've got two of the three Met mavens to draw knowledge from. And you posted something, Robert, in light of the Met loss today, which were one step forward, two steps back.
Yes, he did. I saw that.
Yeah. Something like that describes it perfectly. It's just been a very, very frustrating season. And it would have been nice to sweep the White Sox, who aren't that great of a baseball team, just on GP, general principles. Didn't happen. You want to talk about today's game, Robert, to lead us off?
Sure. I mean, today was a microcosm of the season. Okay. They come in, Quintana makes his first start, has a nice start, 5 innings, gives up 2 early runs. Okay. They're only down 2-0, bottom of the 5th. They score a run, home run. Okay, it's 2-1. You go to the top of the 6th, everything's looking good. First batter hits a ground ball to first base, right through Pete Alonso's legs. Okay, which is, another thing. They just don't play tight defense. And next batter singled, a walk. Jeff McNeil misplayed a couple of balls in the outfield, and before you know it, it's 6-1, game over. And that's just the way the season has been. You get good pitching, the fielding lets down, the hitting doesn't come. You get good hitting, the pitching doesn't come around.
And 3 unearned runs. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
And going into this game, given Verlander's last outing, which was, I guess, yesterday, I was feeling good. I was feeling, I can't say hopeful, but it was interesting for me. And this was a blow.
Yeah.
Well, now you have 3 games against the Red Sox in Boston. And hopefully they can, they can rally themselves again and, get a little something going. But I have a feeling next couple of weeks we're going to start seeing guys get pulled out of the game, the middle of the game, which signifies they've been traded. And we'll have to see what happens.
Well, Boston's been playing. Yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
Excuse me. I just want to say that answers the key question at the deadline. Are they going to be traders or are they going to be, acquirers? This season is toast.
Well, yeah, they're 17 and a half games out, and what are they, 10 games out of a wild card even? Something like that.
No, actually,
7.
It was 6 going into today.
Right. It's 7 right now, yeah. Okay, but still, that's not insurmountable. When you have 3 wild cards,
But the problem is there's so many teams they've got to go past.
Well, that's a big problem. Yeah.
That's the problem. If it was just one or two teams, but every time two teams play that are ahead of them, one of them is going to stay ahead of them, and one will come back a game. But it's very hard to make up those games when you have to, go past 6 or 7 teams.
Yeah, they're going to have to get really hot though, like the Phillies did last year, and it's just hard to do. Especially the way they're playing. I mean, taking 2 out of 3 from the White Sox would have been a sweep. Obviously, would have been better. But I mean, the White Sox are 41 and 57. But there's going to be a lot more tough teams to play, and Boston's been playing good ball. This is not really a good place for them to go right now. So we'll see what they can do.
Okay.
But,
hey, let me interject a little something that's positive. I think Alvarez is terrific, offensively and defensively.
Yes, he is. He and Beatty are both going to be big-time players.
I think so.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. Now it's a matter of, checking on the other couple of guys. Mauricio, there's a lot of talk about Canna. A lot of teams are interested in Canna. So I anticipate him going. There's a lot of interest in Tommy Pham. I anticipate him going. And then there'd be no reason not to bring Mauricio and Vientos up and let them play every day and see what you have.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I would say so.
Because if you remember a few years ago, when the Yankees, dumped Alex Rodriguez and they made all those trades, they brought up Sanchez, who got hot, and Judge, and all of a sudden they almost got themselves back in the pennant race, using all their young players. That's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Pham was, he was just a stopgap for this year. So, you might be able to get something for him and just bring up, those guys. That Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, and McNeil aren't going anywhere. Am I correct? I mean,
they still have to sign Alonso. Okay, Alonso hasn't been signed. Nimmo has, McNeil has. Beatty and Alvarez,
right,
are just starting, but they have not signed. They have not signed Alonso yet.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what they do with that. But frankly, when they bring up Mauricio and Vientos, and you got Beatty and Alvarez, that's the team. You might as well see what. Maybe, infusing the young guys will get the older guys going again. I mean, Alonso can't hit 204. That's just not going to cut it.
And like I said in one of the texts I sent you guys, maybe this thing with the contract is weighing on his mind. He's all seen Nimmo sign the big contract. He's seen McNeil sign the big contract. And, nothing's happened with him yet.
Yeah. How about Lindor?
Well, he's got a big contract, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Would you guys consider him to be an underachiever?
No, not really, Ralph, because the way he was in Cleveland, he'd never hit for a super high average. He was a power guy. He's doing that now. He's got home runs. He's got RBIs. He's fielding his position as good as any shortstop in the game. Expectations, according to the contract he signed, are high, but I think you're getting what he is.
Okay.
Yeah, the truth is his OPS lifetime isn't all that much higher than it is right now. 812 compared to 776 this season. He's got 19 home runs. He's got 61 RBIs. So, I mean, it's just at 229. You know, his lifetime batting average is 273.
Right. But you're getting production out of him, and I'm sure he's putting more pressure on himself than is necessary. Kind of like the first year. The first year he was trying so hard, and kind of curtailed him. Same thing with Alonso. But,
so they bring up all these young guys, and if they start contributing the way they should or they could, it could ease it up for these guys. And they could turn the whole thing around, if not certainly this year and then next year.
Well, and where they're at now, okay, you really want to find out what you have for next year.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, Quintana, he only started his first game for the year.
Right.
I'm not really sure what the deal is with with Verlander and Scherzer. They're 40 years old, or Scherzer's going to be soon enough. The rest of the pitching staff has to be addressed.
No question.
Go ahead, Ralph.
I was just going to say no question. Can't go into next year without a total revamp. Start with Diaz. He'll be back. And that makes everybody in the bullpen stronger at that point, because Robertson becomes the setup man, and that helps quite a bit.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I mean, Verlander and Scherzer, what's their contract length? Would they consider just moving them because this year is done?
Okay, here's the problem. They both have no trade contract, no trade
clause.
Oh,
they do? All right, okay.
They have to waive them. That's number one. Number two,
a lot of money.
They're making a lot of money. The Mets would have to eat a bunch of that money.
Yeah.
And let's just say they were able to move both of them. Okay, well, now you've got two more starting pitchers you have to come up with next year.
Right. Well, there's going to be people available that aren't 40 years old either. So, but who knows?
But I know Scherzer has already said that he'd consider waiving his no trade. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. Mm-hmm.
All right. However, he'd like to make it work with the Mets, and I think he has one more year. His problem is, he has a player option next year. So if a team were to take him in a trade, they would, even if the Mets ate the rest of this year's salary, the new team would be on the hook for the player option next year.
Yeah, that might be a little rough. Yeah.
And so
they're kind of stuck. Yeah.
So what some of the the so-called experts were saying is, let's say the Dodgers wanted to take Scherzer back. Okay, they'd want him to waive his player option next year. And there's no way he's going to do that. Right.
No, not with that money. No, definitely not. So I don't think the Dodgers are going to make that move. But
now, as far as Verlander, the Astros were supposedly have some interest. But they're going to expect the Mets to eat a lot of the remaining salary.
Right.
And,
I think the Dodgers would be interested in him too, but again, they'd want the Mets to eat some of that salary. Yeah.
Right. Now Uncle Steve has an unlimited wallet, but you're already carrying a bunch of money they're paying to guys that aren't playing for them anymore.
Yeah. No question.
All right. So I would just say things are stagnant until the trading deadline.
Yeah. Okay, and then another thing adding to it is, Marte would be of value to teams, except he hasn't played with a migraine for the last 3 days.
Right. He has been incredibly brittle over the last 2 years. The playoffs last year notwithstanding, he didn't give us a damn thing down the stretch last year. And I know injuries happen. That's the way it goes. For me, that was a big disappointment because when he's healthy, he's a good ball player.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest disappointment this year.
Right.
Yeah, that could be.
Out of a lot of disappointments, he's probably the biggest one.
Okay. All right, guys. Great synopsis as usual. Wishing Mert well. Thanks for being here, Bernie and Robert. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. We're not all that enthusiastic for the year 2023. Will you guys agree? No. It's been a bear on several different levels. Let's leave it at that and just say adios and happy trails, everybody.
All right, good show. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Take care.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.